All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Lost But Willing podcast. I, Matt Gilbert, am here with
Chris Boswell, and we have our good friend Garrett Weeks with us today.
How's it
What's
going
up,
out
boys?
there?
Glad to be here for this one.
Cool. Glad to have you.
What's all that Washington crap in the background, my friend?
Oh yeah, you switched teams. I keep forgetting about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was more talking about the baseball. I was never an
Oh,
Astros
you mean
fan.
the World Series champion baseball team?
Yeah, the Senators or something like that. Whatever they're called this day and age. So, we are here today, and the reason we asked Garrett to come and join us is we are going to be talking about the second tour that we had with Spark to Inferno. This one, the last one that we talked about in episode 1, we did have a different drummer at that time named Nelson. Anyway, no, we played down mainly in Southeast. We got to go to Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and a couple places I think we played a couple states twice, and Virginia. But this definitely was, I guess it was about 3 or 4 years after the first EP. Do you remember what year it was, Garrett?
That was 2011.
2011. So that was
Yeah.
3 years. 3 years after the first EP released. Where did we have the release? Oh, we had it at Auto Bar. There's videos and stuff on YouTube that are blaringly loud.
Yeah, they're terrible videos.
But we got
No
a lot
offense,
of
Jen.
we got a lot of videos throughout that, and we have a lot of stuff from that tour. We had a lot of fun, I guess you could say, off the tour, doing the Adventures of Chad, which we'll talk about in a little while.
Oh, that's the most embarrassing thing we did, I think, on tour.
Yeah, we didn't scrub that video from YouTube yet.
Every time I see it, I consider doing it.
No, it's not scrubbed. It's on Facebook. I think it is off of YouTube.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I haven't searched for it in a while.
Oh yeah, it's embarrassing.
it was. But so we had like this little merchandise mannequin that his name just happened to be Chad, and we decided to make it fun to tell stories as if Chad was a real living person, and he took pictures all over the tour with a lot of our fans, and we had our fans sit there with Chad and take pictures. It turned out to be pretty fun when we had them taking pictures with it, but when we started making nasty videos as if we were all sleeping with Chad or
He was taking advantage of us.
Yeah, right.
Oh man! But if you want to watch that video, it's definitely on our Facebook or I guess YouTube, whatever. But we're not going to play it whatsoever on this episode. I was gonna cue it up, and you can hear everything. Garrett's so chiseled, and he really
I
liked.
definitely wasn't chiseled. I think that was
He liked.
was a good joke, though.
I like the bad boys, and Garrett's the bad boy.
None of that's true.
He's not bad at all.
So we started in Baltimore again, right? For this one?
Yeah, this one we did Auto Bar instead of Wrecker Theater.
Right. And then didn't we go and play at Jack's in Springfield, Virginia?
Yep.
And then from there we left to go to North Carolina. So let's start with Jack's. It wasn't that eventful.
That's not where we started. We started at Auto Bar.
Yeah, but
That show was awesome and just kind of uneventful, I guess you could say.
right, and Jack's was kind of the same. So, okay, let's start at the Auto Bar. It was uneventful.
It was.
The end. And then there was Jack's. That was also uneventful. I'm sure. Well, the Jack shows were always cool because we always got to play with like a ton of bands, a ton of great bands. They were always
Yeah,
good
wasn't the
bands.
Jack's show the one where we opened for Eye the Breather, or was that a different Jack's show?
I think it was, but we did like a dual release of the album. Didn't we do one in Maryland and then one in Virginia?
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, maybe that's what we did.
Because we had a pretty good following down in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, we did. That was cool. We always had people who were out there watching us in Virginia. So let's go to North Carolina. I feel like North Carolina was a very interesting stop on this tour. We pulled up to this rundown, dilapidated house, and that was where we were playing that night.
Yeah, but it had been around for a long time.
It had, and they had a bar in there. I mean, like they had cleared out a lot of stuff. They had taken walls out. They opened it up, put a bar in there. I would have never used the bathroom in this place. So we pull up to this place, and we're kind of waiting around for the promoter or whoever it was that booked us to show up. And this guy shows up in a leather vest with no shirt underneath, and he's got like a 38 sticking out of his waistband. And he's like, "You guys, the Maryland act or whatever, I don't know. You guys playing tonight?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're playing." Meanwhile, we're all kind of like, "Man, what you gonna do with that gun? Like, does like bad stuff happen around here? You know?"
What did he say? Yes, bad stuff happens around here.
He did say like, "Yeah, once the sun goes down, like we get a little rowdy crowd out here or whatever."
There was
So,
like nothing rowdy about the place. There were like cows in the back. It was, I mean, I'm pretty sure, wasn't the side street like a dirt street, or the parking lot was like a dirt parking lot or something?
yeah, we were parked in the lawn or something.
Because we did get there super early, and so we decided to do like each spot we decided to try to like promote and go around the town, and that one didn't have really much
Yeah.
in the town.
It felt like we just sat out in the yard of that house for quite some time, like waiting for the guy to show up. Felt like it was a couple hours, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how the birth of the Adventures of Chad came about because we were so bored
Yeah,
and we saw Chad sitting in the window. And then
right.
we started filming and just joking around, and it kind of
Yeah,
took
that's
on
right.
a life of its own from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like looking at our pictures on the Facebook. Um I definitely think it was that Eye of the Breather shows was in Virginia, but I was trying to find the name. Was it called like the Milestone?
That sounds right. That sounds about right.
I think the one in North Carolina was called the Milestone. But, we looked up, we had one person that was like a reporter that came to that one, or she wrote for her school or something, and she wrote a review of the show, not a review of the album. And then we'll talk about the review that you pulled up. But I remember there was a good amount of people at that show too, besides the guy with carrying a gun. Um,
Oh, he turned out to be all right. He was fine.
we met him. It was kind of like Field of Dreams. We pulled up and we were the only van that was there. And then these two like heavy set white guys are like walking out of the corn up to the venue with a gun on their hip, 6-shooter.
Hey, y'all boys playing tonight?
Mm-hmm.
If you play it, they will come.
Oh man. Man, I can't find any. I know we had a flyer posted somewhere, but I can't find it anywhere that had all the dates and the name. But yeah, I think that was called the Milestone, and I remember it was cool because, like we looked up like a lot of the bands that played there, and it was open since like the '60s or something.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool venue. It was definitely run down. But, I mean, that kind of added to its charm, I think, you know?
Yeah, I felt like that was the most like kind of authentic
Yeah,
venue we played at
yeah.
for sure.
I mean, it was a cool show. Plus, we played with some cool bands. It was weird that we were put into that lineup with, like...
Well, they were all much heavier than we were.
Yeah,
right?
they were, like, stoner metal or... I don't know what. I guess it's what you'd call it.
They were
I remember
stoned on
everybody was
metal.
really cool though.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were all cool with us, and we were cool with them. And
they were. We played with that band. The most memorable band from that night was that band called Grass. Grass was. They were cool. They were. I think we spent a lot of time talking to them outside, and then also I thought their music was really cool. I mean, I'm kind of into a little bit of like the doom and stoner stuff. Not much, but I appreciated what they did. I thought that I think I bought their album or their demo or whatever.
The most in
yeah, I was definitely entertained. I mean, usually, some bands you play with, they open for you, you open for them, and then you wait around and you're just like bored out of your mind or
Yeah.
want to go outside. But I remember, sticking around and being entertained at the least.
Yeah.
I found it wasn't I the Breather we played with. It was a band called Bella Versa with Roam Apart and Screams and Whispers. I just found the flyer online.
Well, we're remembering things all kinds of wrong then.
I know, but I'm finding all kinds of cool stuff on here, though. Let me see.
That was the
Hometowns.
Jack show?
That was. Hold on.
That might have been
I
Autobar.
thought that was
I just
I
found.
thought that was in Baltimore at the old Hammerjacks, whatever that place was called.
No, you're right. So no, the Jack Show. It was March 26th, 2011. It was a Saturday night. Different bands, but Marilyn is Dead, From Atlantis, The Browning, and Within Lying Eyes, and it was our CD release show for Northern Virginia. And the night before our CD release show in at Autobar was A World Away, In and of Itself, which they're on the same label now as I think Have Mercy or Octaves, one of the two. But Bella Versa again. We played with them twice in a row, 2 nights in a row.
We played with them a few times.
And Storm the Threshold. But I was trying to find the one from the other place.
Oh, you know what that was? That was Bourbon Street, and that was a band called Parabel that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, yep.
You remember them?
I do remember them. They were pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do have some pictures, but I don't. It still doesn't say the name in there, but I know it's there because I'm looking at like all these stickers that were all over the wall, and I remember the door when we walked in. It says, "Music licensors go home. Independent music doesn't need you. Go to Walmart where the money is. You are not welcome here." And that's what it said right on the door when we walked in, which is kind of cool. But it'd been around. I want to say the guy said it was around from like the '60s, and he said like the Ramones played there and a bunch of like big bands.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those like hole in the wall vibes type. You know what I mean? It definitely has a hole in the wall vibe to it where it's, underground kind of feeling, and
Yeah.
it was definitely a memorable stop.
Yeah. I do remember my foot going through the stage. Does anybody remember that? The stage was it was
No.
like plywood, and it was really bouncy. I guess right wherever I was standing. I don't know if it had water damage or what, but the people like they told me be careful on there. So like I wouldn't jump up and down or move around like I normally would move around. I like had to stay where I was, and it was a pretty decent sized stage. So it was like we finally got a decent sized stage and we can move around, and I couldn't move, and I'm kind of like it's almost like I was on a trampoline the whole time, and I kept trying to hit my pedals, and one time I missed or my foot slipped off my pedal and it actually cracked and went into the floor a little bit. So and it's like, yeah, it's an old stage. That's what they told me. Just be careful. Yeah, be careful you don't fall through the stage.
What
Yeah.
I remember about that show is we spent like 20 minutes trying to get that new in-ear system that we just bought
Mm.
to work,
Yeah, that was
and I don't
like,
think it was working. I think the night before or 2 nights before we left, I went and got my Shure in-ears, and we had all that time wasted and then money wasted, and we didn't try to use them for the rest of the tour. We was just like shot.
yeah, that was back in the day when like you couldn't get. I guess like now you can just use Apple AirPods or something and probably do it through your phone. But we spent. It was the most expensive thing we bought as a band together because it was like either $400 or $600, but it was definitely on the low end.
Yeah.
It was like Pile Products or something.
I
It,
still have the receiver in my
oh,
drum toolbox as a memento.
yeah. I have my little toolbox or whatever that has the thing in there. I don't think I ever used it for a live show. We used it at practice a couple times. It's definitely
Yeah.
convenient. But they weren't that great sounding to begin with.
No. I vaguely remember them, honestly.
Mm-mm-mm. So I don't see. Let me see. I found that I the Breather show, and that was in April. So that's why you're kind of remembering that. It was when we came back. We played the following month with I the
Oh,
Breather,
okay.
an Obscure Signal. Yeah. So I don't remember any of the bands that played really that night. I do kind of remember the band. I wouldn't have known their name, Grass, but they were pretty good. It wasn't quite jam, but like you said, it was kind of dark.
Yeah, they kind of stuck with me for some reason.
It reminds me a lot of that record that I just got from vinyl. The is Death of a Day or something like that.
The Wall of Death, right?
There it is, Wall of Death.
Yeah.
Either way, it's just as corny as the other one. These are not in order from when we posted them. So I don't remember too much more from
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah, we did that filming. We have that video of the opening to The Adventures of Chad, or from North Carolina outside. This one, we just rented a regular van. We didn't have a fancy power inverter with NFL Blitz in the back like we did on the first one. Sorry, Garrett.
Yeah, I missed out on that.
But did we stay in North Carolina? I think we drove to Columbia, South Carolina. That
yeah. I
night.
don't think we stayed there. I think we left immediately so we could save money on like a room for the night or something.
I felt bad that yeah, because it was expensive. Where I can't remember the town that we were in.
We were right outside of Charlotte,
Okay.
but it was still pretty rural.
I'm trying to look up the venue now, but yeah, it's called the Milestone. I don't know if it's still around. It just kind of seems like a little punk venue. So we did drive to Columbia, South Carolina, where the whole plan was the reason we were going to stay there is because my family lives, or most of my family lives there. We're like, oh, we'll save some money on hotels. Anyway, we went to Columbia, South Carolina. We found a hotel. It was like a Days Inn or something like that, but it was like downtown Columbia. And I didn't even call my family. We just left in the morning. Felt so bad. Like we didn't even come back to the state. We left because our next show wasn't in South Carolina. It was in Georgia.
We came back on the way back to Maryland.
Yeah, but we went over to
Yeah,
Folly Beach over in Charleston.
right.
Charleston.
But that's later.
That is later. So the next show was the next show Athens?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so Athens, Georgia, home of the Bulldogs, Georgia University. The cool thing about this tour is we had, besides that day, like we had some days in between, some off days. And the first tour that we didn't have any off days. We did a lot of straight through driving and whatnot. And we drove more miles on this tour, but Kenny was able to help you drive on this one because he was old enough at that time.
Right, you drove a little bit too.
Yeah, I think I did.
I think we all took turns.
It was a little easier. At least I felt like we got more rest and it wasn't as rushed as the first one. What do you think, Garrett?
Oh, I didn't drive. I got to sit back and relax the whole time. So.
Right.
Was it better than the first one?
Because I was there, it was definitely better.
Oh, so we have Athens, we have Florida, we have Charleston.
Yeah, we played at a place called the Rye Bar in Athens.
In Athens, yeah, I have the picture of the Rye Bar on here.
And my favorite...
Really cool place, but the worst show by far.
I agree. My favorite memory was handing out flyers in front of the club, trying to get people to come in and watching them just like drop them on the ground. Except for the one person who was like, yeah, I'm probably going to try to make it. And then their friend was like, stop fucking with them.
Wasn't there another venue like down the street, a bigger venue that had like a big name band playing the same night?
I mean, it was a very busy part of, I mean, for Athens, Georgia, it was the college town, like main street that we were on. So people were out and about and drunk and stumbling and going kind of bar hopping throughout the whole thing. I think I realized that everybody there just did bar hopping. So we got some people to come to the show, but by the time they came into the show, it's like they were standing around for 20 minutes waiting for us to play, or, you know, the band before us was playing or whatever it was. And then they would leave and go to another bar.
Yeah, I remember we had 2 or 3 people there. And didn't one of them end up being from another venue that we tried to book?
Yes. Yeah. It was,
They were like, you should have played it at my venue.
and we're like, we tried.
Yeah.
No one answered the phone or email or whatever it was.
Was there another band that played that night, or were we it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the actual, so they used like a chalkboard in the main entrance, like a big chalkboard that has a Rye Bar live tonight, Spark to Inferno, and Vincent the Dog.
So we opened for Vincent the Dog?
Yep.
Or they opened for us, one or the other.
Yeah, I can't remember.
No, I think we opened because I think when Vincent the Dog started playing, they had people show up.
Beer was so much cheaper back then. They had $2 tall boys of Shock Top. So, and then they had $2 well drinks. So we got some $2 drinks while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun at that spot because we did get to go up and down. And plus, we got there like a day early, and there wasn't really much to do the day before. So we started filming all.
Yeah, we ate at that Mexican restaurant next to the hotel.
That was awesome. I mean, we all, like, it blew up our stomachs, but I remember the food being really, really good.
It was. I remember it being really good too, but more so than that, the more memorable thing was racing back to the hotel room across the street.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't even have to drive there. It was across the street. We all ran for the bathroom.
Yeah. And I think one of us hit like the lobby bathroom. Like we couldn't even make it like into the room. I can't remember who it was.
It's Kenny. I remember we were running across.
No, I don't think he went with
it.
I think it was just the 3 of us. I think Kenny stayed at the hotel and slept or something.
Yeah.
He might have driven.
Yeah.
Or something.
Was that the hotel that we did the Chad footage in and the MTV Cribs?
Yeah.
I was gonna try to queue up the video MTV Cribs so you can hear it, but it's really, I mean, it's funny to watch, but not really to listen to necessarily.
Yeah. That one was slightly less embarrassing than the Chad ones.
Well, I think we should probably take a break and do some ads before we go on, just because we only have a couple more spots. But there's a lot to talk about when we get to Athens, the day of all the filming. There's a lot of to talk about with Cocoa Beach in Florida. That was definitely one of the best spots, and a good amount to talk about in South Carolina because we played with some really good bands there.
So if you're not aware, we do not have sponsors, but Matt and I have decided to write each other fake advertisements to read, and neither one of us have seen the advertisement that we wrote for one another. So this is going to be our first time seeing it and reading it, and hopefully it'll be funny.
All right. Butter Up Carbonated Butter Soft Drink. Make room for a brand new soft drink. This ain't your grandpa's beverage. It's new. Butter Up, the carbonated drink made from real butter. Enjoy thick, creamy consistency of real liquid butter with a touch of caffeine and a whole lot of fizz to tickle your nose. Best served at room temperature for any occasion. Family getting together? Game night? Meeting new or old friends? Or just sitting around relaxing? Butter Up is the better beverage. It's so buttery. Yes, next time you feel parched, reach for the obvious choice. Butter Up. It's a good one. It did make me, actually, because you wrote on there, make a disgusted noise. So buttery. And I kind of was a little disgusted, so.
Yeah. All right. All right. Here we go. Brought to you by ChildTherapyToys.com. My first addiction set. Set of miniatures to symbolize 7 different addictions. An important addition to any sand tray miniature collection. All items are hand-picked by Dr. Gray York and are optimized to provide the best value for beginning therapists and seasoned professionals. Fake needle measures 6.5 inches long. Plastic marijuana leaves 3.25 inches by 3 inches. There's 2 of them in there. Slot machine measuring 3.25 inches tall and 2.5 inches tall. 5 playing cards measuring about 1.5 inches. 2 dice, that would be die, measuring 0.25 inches, 0.4 inches, or 2.4 inches.
I don't think you have to read those. The size. I guess in case anybody's got to fit it in their dollhouse, you got to know what size it's going to be.
Beer cans. Beer cans, set of 3, each measuring 1 inch tall. Cigarettes, set of 2, measuring 3.25 inches long. Liquor bottle, set of 3, 2.5 inches tall. Don't forget to check out the frequently bought together items, such as My First Handcuffs and My First Funeral. Frequently bought together.
Alright, that one was okay. But you know what's really odd about that? That is a true legit advertisement. Like, they really sell that. So, an advertisement for My First Addiction Kit for kids. Depressing, isn't it? But
Yep.
I'm glad they gave them 2 marijuana leaves, because they always lose one.
Right.
You know?
They have a spare now.
You gotta unmute Garrett now.
Garrett's back with us.
Got him.
Alrighty then. So now we're talking about, we're still in Athens. We all just ran to the bathroom. I want to say Garrett and Kenny got to go first, and all I remember is our room reeked like poop and Axe body spray. Back to reality. Athens, Georgia, poop smells like body Axe, body spray, Axe. Do you remember what scent it was?
No. Pretty sure it was called Flaming Jaguar.
Flaming Jaguar burns the nostrils. Please
I
don't
had one
sue.
years ago that was like a chocolatey smell, but I don't think it was that one.
Oh God. Spicy chocolate and poop.
It's scrumptious.
So we got there a day early. We did all this filming. Chris did a pretty funny video, like MTV Cribs, where you started in the van. It was just like a segment from MTV Cribs, and
Right. We came up with the concept of a pizza drawer. We kept our plastic cups in the freezer for frosted glasses.
for frosted cups.
We kept our towels in the microwave for heated towels.
For when your ass gets cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not allowed to do it in your
We
normal.
apparently
your normal
sponsored
ways.
by, was it Pepsi or Dr. Pepper Jonks?
Dr. Pepper Jones pre-mixed with that Captain Morgan's.
Yeah, the Dr. Pepper was pre-mixed with Captain Morgan because we're sponsored. I can't remember I can't remember if it was Dr. Pepper or Captain Morgan, but one of them sponsored us apparently.
The only reason we really bring that up is, I mean, it is related to the poop conversation that we had because Garrett was taking a poop when we were filming the video and we opened up the door on him.
Right.
And he was looking at the white pages for bitches. This is 2011, so it wasn't like he had his cell phone on his lap and he's going on his cell phone. He actually had like
A phone book.
the actual physical phone book. It's
Yeah,
like,
that was 2011 Tinder back then, the white pages.
Right. Yeah, you guys remember back in 2011 when you just call random numbers out of the phone book looking to hook up?
and Kenny was sleeping in the bed with Chad.
Yep.
So our sexy mannequin.
Yes, Chad made an appearance.
For when your ass gets cold. Oh, and we got, and then I remember you were pointing out the amazing television that we had. We got this TV. It was not a flat screen. It was a normal old TV. Got this TV, I don't know, from Best Buy or some shit.
Yeah.
By the time we post this video, there are going to be no Best Buys left. So that's how old we are at this point. So then we filmed our very, very embarrassing, what was it, like the real life of Chad or the adventures of Chad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and he was pretty much just sleeping with everyone in the band. We were
except
all...
for me.
Well,
Was
that's
the
right.
only one that wasn't, but I
You were
loved him.
upset. Yeah, you were upset because he wasn't paying you attention or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be boyfriends with Kenny. He was cheating on Kenny with Garrett. He was giving you hand jobs. He doesn't have any hands. So
Right.
he's one of those mannequins that doesn't have any arms. So it was really amazing that he was able to do that.
Right.
There's your cliff notes for that video.
Yeah, there's the synopsis.
Yeah. Are we allowed to say hand jobs on podcasts?
I think we can say whatever we want.
All right. So we left off from Georgia. No, now, yeah, we did leave Athens. We left Athens and we drove to Cocoa Beach, Florida, that was like South Florida, wasn't it?
No, it's not that far down. It's like, if you look at Orlando, it's all the way east of Orlando to the coast. So we were like on the beach.
And on the way down, we stopped and we saw your cousin, right?
On the way back, on the way out of there, we did.
Okay. So we drove down. It was pretty much an all-day drive to get down to Florida from Athens.
Yeah, I think that was the longest leg, driving-wise, of the tour.
Yeah, Cocoa Beach was my favorite stop personally.
Yeah, it was nice to be able to do two beaches, and they were warm because it was March or late March, early April. And we got there. We got to go to Cocoa Beach a night or day early. Like we got there the afternoon before we played.
Yeah. So when we got to the hotel room, we checked in, got all of our luggage in to the hotel room, and then we went to the 321 local, is what the club was called? 321 local or 123 local? Or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I was just looking at the picture of us on there, but go ahead.
We got to see that one-man band, Ben Prestige. That guy was so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely the highlight of the night for me. That dude was incredible.
Yeah, I was so happy we got to catch him. Man, that guy was great. I became a fan of him, and I followed him ever since. He was really good.
Yeah, I was trying to line up. You took a video that night, too, of him.
Yeah.
I was trying to find it. It doesn't look like he really posted any music, but I remember us talking to him, and he was he was a mountain man. Like he just lived out and talked about eating crocodile and listening to the trains or whatever he was doing. But I didn't even know there were mountain men like in Florida.
He grew up in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
And his neighbor used to build cigar box guitars. So that's how he got into it. And he had all these different styles of cigar box guitars. I think he had like a diddly bow and 2-string guitars and 3-string guitars. And all kinds of stuff. He was really cool though. And then he played, set up his drums so he could play with like kick pedals and stuff.
Diddley bow best. He won an award for the best diddley bow player.
Yeah,
I was reading. I've never heard of the diddley bow, but
it's just a 1-string guitar.
oh, well, he is very good. Actually, one of the pictures he has on here is of the venue, probably that night. But he has a lot of really cool. It looks like he's still around.
Yeah, the closest he's come to us is somewhere in Virginia Beach or something. I think he came to and played a couple years ago.
Yeah,
But I actually contacted him when I was booking shows, and I offered to. I said, if you're ever looking for a place in Baltimore, let me know, and I can book you. And he's like,
yeah.
I don't come up there until summertime. It's just too cold.
Yeah, I mean he's won a lot of awards. He's classified as blues, which listening back, it wasn't really like country-ish. It was more
Right.
blues than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, check him out. He's got a YouTube, Spotify. Looks like he did end up getting signed to New Gene Records. But very nice guy. He definitely was. He just didn't seem like he came up around a lot of people. he was kind of a lonely guy. But yeah, it was cool to see him play those instruments. Had a little kick drum, and he was his own rhythm. But
Yeah.
we went there. We saw him because we went there to promote and hand out flyers the night before. And then that's when we ended up running into the guy that wrote the review. Do you have that review on your phone?
It's on Facebook.
Oh, it's on Facebook.
I shared Garrett's memory of that review last time I shared it.
Now I gotta search for that. Garrett, do you have it?
Not handy.
So yeah, we met this guy out front, and he was a really nice guy, and he ended up being like a writer for, was it a Florida magazine or no? It was a website, right?
Yeah, it was a website. He reviewed music. He was a music reviewer.
Yeah, I think we got to know him as a person, and he told us about it. We didn't know he was gonna actually review it. We thought he was just kind of BSing us.
Right. Yeah, he was like, yeah, if you give me a copy of your CD, I'll review it.
Yeah, why don't you read that for everybody to hear?
I'll give you a copy if you give us a good review.
So we actually had a really shitty review, but so he wrote this just because he really wanted a copy.
No, he gave us a great review. I thought it was a great review. Now, I will say, he did only give us a C.
Did he? There's actually a grade on there.
7 out of 10. That's a C, dude.
That is a C.
I think
it's a low C.
I think we were at least a B+ band. Anyway, what he wrote was, Spark to Inferno, self-titled EP. Listening to Spark to Inferno makes me feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. This CD starts with the subtlety of a cement truck parking on top of both of your feet and maintains the pressure throughout. With powerful vocals, tight musicianship, vicious attitude, and unexpectedly strong songwriting, Spark to Inferno harness their rage and run roughshod through the disc. There are restrained double bass blasts and searing interplay between the bass and lead guitar. And most refreshing is a singer who is capable of delivering and delivers at every turn.
Every turn.
You can sense a history of frustration and resentment in the melodic hard rock that the band serves up. This is catchier and tougher than 90% of the crap currently polluting commercial radio. Spark to Inferno are appropriately named, as this little disc should be burning through your speakers as you read this. 7 out of 10.
That was definitely like a 9 out of 10 review, and then he
Yeah,
put 7.
to me, that definitely sounds better than a 7 out of 10, but hey.
Yeah.
I had no frustration at all. I guess it was more of like a whiny singer. You can tense the frustration. Just I guess anytime someone screams, they seem really frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to poop. Oh, I've got to poop. I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Constipated.
Ooh. But I'm, concrete trucks parking on my feet. you can't go anywhere with that. So,
Right.
but it was really cool that he did that because I don't think any of us were expecting him to actually do that. But
No, and it was quite a flattering review.
does it have his name on there?
Bertman
Bertman.
on it. It was
Or
reviewed.
is it Burt Man?
It's all one word. I mean, it could be Bertman.
Is this your license? Just says McLovin.
Hey guys, I'm Bertman. You want me to review your album?
McLovin from Honolulu, Hawaii. Bertman. He's like Prince. He just has one name. But it was cool. We just talked to him for a long time. We were standing out front, and he was talking about how he kind of supports local music, not just local, but just independent music. And I think everybody we met that night and we talked to, we got to hang out, get a couple drinks, and
Yeah, I think that we were received best on that stop.
yeah,
Everybody was like into it. We had a good crowd. Even
Do you remember any of the other bands we played with that night? Because I'm having trouble remembering.
yep,
I
I
don't-
just found it.
Oh, cool.
So it was on the 14th of April, which these dates aren't really lining up. I guess we had breaks from the CD release, but 14th of April, Spark to Inferno, Circuit Bender, and Lit Up were the bands.
Gee,
I
don't remember that at all.
I remember the Circuit Bender band was pretty good, but none of them were really our style. Like one was like poppy, the other one was like
Yeah.
radio rock.
They were all very nice, though.
Yeah, I do
That
remember.
was pretty much the whole tour, though.
No,
Yeah.
dude, I love the bands in Charleston.
No, I just mean like as far as like aligning genres.
Oh yeah, we played with a lot of like death metal and pop punk bands, so it was
Yeah.
it was we didn't have too many rap rock bands though. But so we went there the night before and we passed out a bunch of flyers because we were playing the night after with those three bands. But it was pretty cool because we got to go and do like the whole tourist thing. We got to go to the beach and go in the water, and it was like bath water. It was so nice.
Yeah, I remember getting super sunburnt.
I-
Sunburnt.
Sunburnt. I don't. I remember you went to Ron John Surf Shop, or you wanted to go. To
I
Ron
did. I
John.
went there, and I also went to the Cocoa Beach Surf Shop, and I ended up getting stuff from the Cocoa Beach Surf Shop.
Yeah, Ron John was like super expensive.
Yeah, I got a Cocoa Beach hoodie, and I got my stepson a T-shirt. And I
Nice.
didn't have any other kids at the time, so
And then you
I didn't
start
get
popping
them-
them out like
I didn't
crazy.
get them anything.
This is for my future babies.
But Reggie ended up chewing up my sweatshirt, which I was upset about.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Roger.
He would never do that now. He's an old man.
Yeah,
So,
he just chews up all your kids' toys.
no, he's not too bad about that anymore. He's old man.
Old lady.
Anyway. Yeah,
So-
we went to the beach.
Yeah, I don't remember too much eventful besides going to the beach, going to the tourist shops or whatever, and then we played. I mean, I think we played at like 8 or 9 or something. I think did we headline that night?
I think we might have.
So yeah, then did we stay in Florida that night? I think we drove up.
We stayed there 2 nights. And we left at like 8 o'clock in the morning when we went to head to South Carolina.
Yeah, but we stopped at your cousin's house, so we got
We
to
did,
see.
yeah.
And he was close to like Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, he's in Yulee, which is like it's right next to Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah, that was fun. We got to hang out with them for a while, him and his family, and
Right.
a couple
Yeah,
hours.
such a small world.
Yeah, that was
My uncle used to play with your cousin in Casaside. I mean,
that was
Crazy.
interesting to find out. No, we found out on that tour because I was messaging him trying to figure out if we'd have time to stop through. And you were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, how do you know him?" It's like, "That's my cousin."
yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah.
And then I remember because he lived up near here a long time ago, or he visited or something, and I didn't think I knew who you were talking about until we showed up and I
Mhm.
recognized him. I had no
Yeah.
idea he even moved to Florida.
Yep.
But that was cool. We got to spend some time with him and his kids and his wife and get to know them a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took our drive up. Pretty much, we drove all the way up the coast. So we drove through Savannah all the way up to Charleston, South Carolina. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I can't. I'm trying to look. I'm looking at all the pictures. They loved taking pictures with Chad in Charleston. And I'm trying to find the name. I can't find the name of the venue. But like one half of it was a pool hall, and then they had like a full on venue on the side. But we got to play with Sugar Glider.
Yeah.
First time we played with them. We became friends with them on that tour, and we eventually, when they toured the following year, they came up and
We played with them in Baltimore.
yeah,
Yeah.
at the Talking Head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where in Charleston was? I know we were at Folly Beach, but there was
I don't remember what the club was called, but remember, it was Fusebox Poet got
Yes.
us the show down there because we traded shows with them.
Mm-hmm.
Or we got them a show at Jack's, and we went down there. They helped us out at that place.
Yeah. Man, I remember, and Fusebox Poet was really good too.
Yeah.
It was a little poppy, and I can't really think of a band that to compare it to, but it was a little poppy, but they were talented, and
Mm-hmm.
they had like 2 or 3 CDs that were out.
It's kind of like a heavier Jack's Mannequin
Yeah,
because he played a lot of piano, but it was more of like rock than Jack's Mannequin was, but still good.
yeah, and then that's when we got to meet Sugar Glider, and that was the original Sugar Glider where they had the girl bass player and they had a different drummer, I think, at the time. Um, but they were really cool too. They're from Riley, North Carolina. And so they came up a couple months later and they played Octave's album release party um, and at the Talking Head. But that was the first time we ever heard Sugar Glider when we played with them, and I
Yeah.
remember their lighting was awesome.
And they blew us away.
Yeah,
We were like really, really impressed. I think between us, we got all their entire discography
yeah,
from the merch table.
and I couldn't find mine anymore. So I went on. They actually do still have their Bandcamp, and you can either get it for free and download all of their stuff, or you can donate money to them and do it.
Yeah.
They have some really cool videos where they did one of their songs with a full orchestra down in North Carolina, like the North Carolina Orchestra. I don't know what the name was, but it was really cool because you don't see a lot of independent bands do that kind of stuff. Have like a 30-piece orchestra and playing a song.
Yeah.
But they were I mean, they still probably are very talented, but they were very talented. I know I was a huge fan of the band after that show.
Yeah.
Not only were they
Yeah,
really
funny enough,
nice.
I was just looking uh, at their stuff the other day on Spotify, and I haven't seen anything too recent, so I'm not sure if they're still playing right now or not.
Yeah, I don't think they are. They haven't sent like they recorded that one full length uh once they switched the drummer and the bass player. And then they had that really good EP. I can't remember what it was called.
Lovers at Lightspeed, I think it was.
Yeah. So definitely go and take a listen to that because it's worth it. They were very very good, and it makes me kind of want to reach out to them and see how they're doing, and maybe we can call them and have them on the podcast and see if they want to talk a little bit because I'm sure they're all still playing music some form or fashion, maybe together or not together. Um, I can't remember when the bass player left too. She joined a band. It was like an all girl band, but they were pretty good too. But yeah, and I got to see my family at that show. My cousin Brian, and it was his girlfriend at the time, but now they are married with 2 kids. Um, they lived in Charleston, and my cousin Adam, he drove down from Asheville, North Carolina, with his girlfriend, who I think he might be married now, but he at least has a baby with her, and um, I remember they drove down and that was the first time either one of them heard us. So I was very happy that they got to come out and see us and hang out with us. And I guess you could say see us in our prime because I feel like we were really, really good and tight during that tour and when that album came out. Um,
Yeah.
we had a good set up and we had nice lighting and we just sounded pretty good. We were on point with each other and even if we screwed up, we could kind of catch back up to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's that point in time we really kind of had our stuff together a lot more than when we released the first album.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that we couldn't bring anybody else with us because we don't really have any video footage of any of those shows.
Yeah. Not
So,
at least not of us playing.
remember that.
Yeah. We got
Right.
plenty of us acting like idiots.
Yeah. That stuff we wish we could forget. We have plenty of tape on that, but
Right.
none of the good playing.
what's kind of cool is when you search Spark to Inferno on Facebook, it'll show the photos, but it'll show everything that other people have posted with like that tagged us. So like I was going back through and seeing a lot of like clips of videos that some people took of us. We didn't have anything from that show, but we had some from the tour that you can see. And one other thing I realized when we got back from that show, because that was like a 10-hour drive, and we did not stay in Charleston that night.
No, we headed out at around 1 o'clock in the morning to come home from that venue, and we got back. I think we got back to the area at like 11 in the afternoon the next day.
Yeah.
It was a long drive. I remember that being really tough, a really tough drive, and then we had to play that night again.
And we didn't end up getting to go to the beach when we were there.
No, not in South Carolina. We got to in Florida though, so
Yeah, that was nice.
no, we when we got back that night, we had a show at Chapala's in Burtonsville.
Oh, their food was good too.
Yeah. And we had
Rosier, was it?
yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, I played with Mike for after Sparks to Inferno just kind of fizzled out. I played with Life Review and toured with Mike and everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Rosier was good, and I'm pretty sure Kindness of Strangers played that night too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All bunch of good dudes, pretty good music on there too. So, but yeah, we went to Chapala's. I do remember that show because the owner of Chapala's really liked us. He was the one that booked all the bands at that place, and he gave us like a crazy amount of money because we were on tour, even though we just got home from tour. It's still Maryland,
Like,
but
dude, I live like 5 minutes away from here.
yeah, we got free food, and then I could have sworn he gave us a couple $100.
Yeah, they have the best quesadillas, by the way. Best I've ever had.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if they're there
Chicken
anymore.
quesadilla.
they're there.
Is it-
They are.
But they didn't. They called the music venue something different, like
It was
online.
the Blue Beetle.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with like.
Because I remember looking and finding somebody else was playing the Blue Beetle, and I was like, "Where's the Blue Beetle?"
Mm.
It's like I've never heard of the Blue Beetle. I've never heard of Chapala's either, but
Yeah, that place is delicious.
the Blue Beetle has like seems like it'd be like a very noticeable place for some reason.
Yeah,
It's like
No.
you have the main bar area that's Chapala's, and then you take those two little steps down, and now you're in the Blue Beetle.
Right. Blue Beetle has like a grandiose name. Seems like they'd have
Yeah.
spotlights out front.
it was pretty much like DJ lighting and
Right.
someone's home PA system. So I had fun on that tour. We got to come home and get some good food and see friends, and that show was pretty packed from what I remember.
Yeah. There's one thing we haven't done though,
What's that?
and that is our second ad break.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and go back to our sponsors.
Have you ever been eating a delicious dinner and Wish you never had to swallow? Well, now you can. From the makers of Meat Soda, Muppet Screams, and Music by Dads, Music for Dads played by Dads, Obvious Plant Home Video presents Cooking with Gum. 15 amazing recipes for lasagna, casseroles, soups, tacos, cereals, tuna salads, and more. Now available. Cooking vegan with gum. Just don't swallow. Cooking with gum. Cooking with gum. Oh, oh, oh. You'll have fun when you're cooking with gum.
Good job, you queuing up the music to go along with that. All right, Spore Ranch, Mold Farm. Tired of that old ant farm? Sick of sea monkeys? Has your pet rock been misbehaving? Sounds like it's time to make room for a new, pathetic excuse for a pet. Introducing Spore Ranch, a mold farm for the hip generation. Spend hours, days, and months watching your mold grow from a tiny spore into a fuzzy,
amorphous
blob. Man, big words. Come on now. Public school over here. Name your mold, take it for a walk, play fetch with it, or just cuddle up with it and pet it. Yes, the possibilities are endless. I named my mold Fred. The hot new Christmas item this year is Spore Ranch. So make sure you get one today before they're gone.
You find that at any fine retailer.
So next week, I think we're going to have a couple new segments. Maybe have some people dial in, line up some other bands to kind of talk about some travel, as well as us talking about some travel, just some funny stories that are going on. Garrett, you got any closing comments for the group today?
I don't think so. I mean, it was a great year and a half, 2 years jamming with you guys. We seemed to reach our peak right before things kind of ended there, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll be able to kind of pick it up again for some fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. I would really like that.
I think it's funny because we never officially ended it. We just stopped doing it.
We're still a band.
We are just via Zoom.
Members started kind of slowly doing other things, and then I guess we kind of just stopped.
Yeah,
Matt.
Chris was popping out babies. Yeah. I was trying to play in 2 bands at once, and that was not working out.
That was very painful.
Kenny was recording.
Popping out babies was very painful. No one laughed at your joke.
I know.
You should have put the little sound in there. Oh, no. Failed.
Oh, the wrong one, but that works.
Is that the same laugh track from the Chad video?
No.
Oh man, dad jokes. Yeah, and then I did a life review, which I have some funny stories from that tour too. Sleeping in the studio where he is a legend, recorded a bunch of stuff and got to play in a lot of different styles and whatnot, but it wasn't meant to break up Spark to Inferno. So let's blame them. Those a-holes. Done. It was very awkward to have both bands at my wedding, though. I will say, I thought you guys were going to have a fist fight.
Yeah, we were going to fight over you.
Go in the parking lot, start snapping like the sharks.
West Side Story style.
But we all were friends and patted each other on the butt, and we're happy.
Yeah.
So next week, we will talk a little bit more, have a couple different people on here. It sounds like we have a lot of editing to do. Did want to thank Garrett for jumping on with us today.
Yeah, we'd like to have you back sometime, man.
Faux show, but never. You're not allowed at my house.
Let me know.
You can't ever be with us though in real life.
You can only be on Zoom.
No.
Are you vaccinated yet?
I'm not yet. No.
See? All right, everybody. Well, we will see you next week for episode 3 of the Lost But Willing podcast. Oh.
Trying out a little different closing music.
Lost But Willing podcast. Sounds so good in my ear holes. My ear holes. Smooth.